Hello, everyone. It's me. It is November 2nd, 2025 at 8:17 p.m. I hope you are well. I choose to be well. Now, I'm just going to get right into it because I'll tell you, someone left me a comment that I truly didn't understand until a couple other of my subscribers, loyal, helpful subscribers, explained to me what it meant. Because I honestly, and I felt like an idiot. I was like, what, pardon? Okay, so what it was, someone came to my page and said, be well. Like, remember how I just said, I hope you're well? Well, they said, be well. You're either an idiot or a saint. But that's all they said, be well. But I didn't get it at first. And that's what I said. I said, pardon? I'm sorry, that didn't make any sense. Anyway, the point is after it was explained to me, I was like, oh, you, you mean like, how could anyone be well in today's world and how things are? You think that I don't see it? Oh, well, to answer your question, I'm not an idiot or a saint, but I'm probably a little bit of both. Just like with, you know how they say there's a fine line between insanity and genius? Yeah, like that. I'm like dancing all on it, all on that line. And that's just the way I've always liked it. I like to keep people guessing. So let me just explain something, okay? Because I'm fully aware that you can't please everyone. It took me a long time to learn that, and I tried really hard to do so. But you can't. And so the thing is that a lot of the time people say that I'm really negative, right? So then I try to focus on things that make me happy and feel positive, and then people think I'm out of touch with reality. So you just can't win. So if you think that I don't see what's going on in the world today, I do. Our world is ending. This is the apocalypse. Apocalypse means unveiling or something. Hold on. Okay, so apocalypse from Greek meaning revelation or disclosure. It usually says, and I've noticed this even on a micro scale within my own life, in my own emotions, there's this saying that I've held with me, and it's always the darkest before the dawn. Like in my Tartarian Night song, Until the Dawn, it almost means that no matter how long the night seems, that the day will come because the sun is going to rise. Yeah? And just like with these cycles, these dark and light cycles, or we're in an age of deception known as the Kali Yuga, and moving into an age of truth, the Satya Yuga, which would be like a dark and light age, the sun and the moon, right? In the dark, in the moon, and then in the light of the sun, right? It's opposing forces played out on a large universal and spiritual scale. Okay, um, so it says in the definition, it says a very serious event resulting in great destruction and change. So in order for something new to be built, the old thing has to crumble, right? Apocalypse doesn't actually mean, even though a lot of the things that were said were going to happen kind of just like the way that things degenerate and degrade with every cycle, like in the days of Noah in a previous cycle. So, I mean, we have times of enlightenment and invention, and then people get complacent and lazy, and they start doing immoral things, and then, greed starts taking over, and power battles, and all of this type of stuff. But a lot of the time, I find that you need to make mistakes in order to learn from them. Hold on. Is this okay? I think it is. Okay, so I've been just having problems. Anyway, you have to make mistakes and learn from them. And how it said, if you don't learn from history, then it's doomed to repeat, right? And so this is the kind of thing that we're going through. And, well, in order to, I truly believe, to break through this, because we could sit here all day and talk about, the problems of the world, grocery prices, mass immigration, stuff happening to all kinds of countries around the world. I talk more about this in my live streams. If you check on my Telegram, the first thing that I posted in there was about the jabs. I've made content about this type of stuff, and it gets reported, it gets taken down, it's blocked. Even the Claustrum oil content is probably the most blocked thing. I've never found so much issue with getting that content out there. It's even the lady who's in my Classroom Oil playlist, Kelly Marie. She's been doing it for years, and it's like, it's not that the content isn't good. It's not that she's not a good teacher. It's because of what the content is. And that's what I mean. Censorship on the internet is getting so much worse, And I had mentioned that before. So there's many reasons why this is happening. There has to be a lot of stress and pressure and displacement in order to really wake people and shake people up. And unfortunately, for the way that this cycle goes, it has to be done through discomfort. That's the thing about this cycle that I talked about before. When you're in better cycles, like say the Satya Yuga, you don't have an opportunity for growth and expansion at a spiritual, mental, and emotional level. There's not really much to learn from. Yeah, it's peaceful and it's better, but this age is almost, I know it's really hard, it's even hard for me to say it, it can be a gift because it allows you to become so much stronger. I'm seeing working out at the gym. So this kind of, like I said, it gives you an opportunity to become stronger, but not just physically, on all levels, and upgrade your consciousness. I often compared life to a video game over the years. You gain your experience points and you get different skills and you gain different things, and you have to collect gold to survive and stuff like that and get what you need. Whatever, it's like a video game. Here, you have an opportunity to reach that level 100 so that you don't have to keep back and coming back to play the game again. That's really, I know it kind of almost simplifies and, what's the word? Devalues Soul School. But it gives it a different perspective, I suppose. Because it is like that. So you are here, and it's a school, And like it says in the Initiates of the Flame, you have all this opportunity for learning while you're here. In other ages, though, there wouldn't be as many. So that's a lot of the reason how I can make it through every day. Now, let me just explain. So, I know a lot of the stuff I talk about seems impossible. Well, that's the key. Truly believing in the impossible. Did I ever know how I was going to be a superhero? No. That's what having faith in God is. I just left it in the divine's hands and knew that they would make it happen. And look at me go. Look what I've discovered. The solar beings, the UFO. Do you really think that I didn't? I swear to you. I did not ever, even though I knew that there was other stuff out there, other people out there, other beings out there, didn't know really how to explain them, but I knew that there was other stuff out there. I left it open like this, and then I saw that being in 2015 in my room, and then the UFO above my building in 2017. I never expected to ever figure any of that out, even like the stuff when I was a little girl. I never knew about the superheroes or anything like that. I didn't know if I would ever figure that out. And by the time I was like 18 years old, I tried to put that all behind me and put it in my past like childhood fantasy that a lot of people think I'm probably living in, or that I've lost touch with reality, or I've gone insane or whatever. Not everyone, but some. Even when I started talking about the Claustrom's oil, people were messaging me videos about debunking the Claustrom's oil. That's the thing about creating your own reality. I explained to you before that nope, it's not going to be the same as everybody else. Everybody does have a different perspective. It's going to be different for you, the way that you see it and experience it. But in certain ways, it can be similar. Now, I remember back in 2010 when I was visiting with my neighbor, and she turned around in her computer chair. Never ever said anything strange like this ever before. Never mentioned aliens or anything before. Looks me dead in the face and goes, "There are reptilian aliens underground and the government knows about it." And she goes, "And I think Jesus Christ, I'm pretty sure Jesus Christ was an alien." And I was literally in mid-sip of my coffee, and I was like, oh. Because what are you supposed to say to that, you know? But really, alien, meaning like a higher consciousness, a higher dimensional, sure, the Christ is, Jesus was, and there's lots of beings like that, of the Saint Claustrum, of the Christ. That's why Jesus' last name was Christ. Should be Claustrum. It would have been way more obvious. But no, Christ, Krishna, Vril, Prana, Chi, life force, energy, all means the same thing. It's all the same thing. The life force. Starseed is your life force. So they really don't want you to know this stuff. You know, they'd rather tell you that the Vril is a reptilian eye parasite than it having to do with the Claustrom's oil and to figure out who the aliens are and the UFOs. But she was right. There are technically beings that live underground. And they would be earth. If they're found in the mountains, they would be air. If they're in the volcanoes, they would be fire, element. Underwater, water elementals. And yes, they can become physical and spiritual. Yeah. He even talks about it in his Hindu cosmology in the Vedas and stuff. They talk about the dimensional levels, going down and going up. Right? And the ones that don't need them, the UFO, can biolocate, could teleport right to your living room. Just like Jesus Christ could, if he wanted. Okay? There was a person like that. Was his name Jesus? Probably not. Just like, seriously, do you really think that there was John, Paul, Jacob, and Joseph walking around the Middle East in the desert? No. They changed those names so we could say them. And then like I can't even say, the only Arabic name that I know is like Muhammad. You know what I mean? They don't even, anyway. But see, the Bible was all symbolism and allegory, right? For lots of things, but it hides about the Clostrum's oil, and it teaches you how to be a good person, how to get through this life. It even says that there's going to be people like me that say that I'm like Jesus, but I'm not. Okay, I've never claimed that. But the Clostrum's oil and that process is how Jesus became who he was. Whether Isa, Sanada, whoever. The name doesn't matter, honestly. So, I don't know. I guess I just make a choice, right, on what I want to focus on so that I don't have to repeat this any kind of lifetime like this again. You know? The government could take over tomorrow and just start pow, 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 come into people's houses. You know what I mean? What can I do? Sure, I can try to fight them, and I probably would, but the likelihood of me completing that mission is low, unless I get superpowers at that moment. Okay? Now, I'm saying, like, or the sun could pop off and fry us all crispy. You know, it's about being good. Like, it's not like I want that. Like, this is what it means about loving yourself. Like, I love myself so much that I'm good to stay this way forever. In this body, looking like this. Like, even when I'm in the spirit realm, I'm still going to look like this and still be me because I love myself. And I'm so happy to be this creation that I am. Even though it's not perfect, the CPTSD sucks and all of that, but we get through it. Me, myself, and I. And I've triumphed over that. Even though it's just something that, like, I have to work on, and I mean, hey, it's better than it was, so there's that. But focusing on the things that I can change makes me feel a lot better. I could be posting about the cabal every day. I could be making videos about all that crazy shit that they do. But is that going to stop them? No. And there's so many other people that are doing that, which I'm grateful for, who I've learned from. But really, in the end, it's not going to change anything. They have to choose to change. Right? These people that are doing all this crazy, what's it called? Spirit cooking and all this crazy shit, they're going to have to choose it. And I spent a lot of my life, or my online life here, focusing on that, trying to warn people, telling people about a whole bunch of stuff, and it's on this channel. But it didn't get me very far, did it? And so I had to choose to do something different. And as wild as it seems, I've never been happier, Ever since the 13th, like, I don't know, just something hit me that day. When I seen that glow of the ship and from the red Mercury, I recognized that, and then I got the crow's feather, and then just things have just been continually getting better because I choose them to. Did anything happen with that 3-eye Atlas? I thought it was Atlas 31, but whatever it's called, no. Do I really care? No. Because it's been good for people to open up their minds to be able to accept new things into their reality. And if one day that does happen and the solar beings arrive and it comes to be that time, great. But am I going to depress myself waiting for them every day like I did before? No. And I haven't done so in a while. I mean, sometimes it still gets me down a little bit because I'm ready for something more. But I'm at peace with how things are and how it is. Enjoying it, because one day it may change just like that. So I really hope this video saves. I pray to the divine creator that it does. Yeah, I'm not oblivious at all. I see it all. The gender war, the race war, all of it. I see it all. All of it. You know, men against women, all the craziness. Yeah, I noticed. But then I also see a lot of things being unveiled as well and exposed every day. You know, I think that people are going to realize that they've been duped in a lot more ways than one. You know, just because someone comes on here on YouTube and calls you their bestie and says, I love you, they don't actually mean that. That's why I don't say shit like that. Why would I fucking say that to you? It's not that I don't. If I didn't care about you, I wouldn't be here at all. Right? But why the fuck would you say that? And just because I say the F word, you're like, oh, she's so negative. So, no, I'm not a saint, but I'm not an idiot either. You know? A lot of the time, I see too much. If I want to, I can feel the suffering of the whole world. And this is the thing, in order for me ever to be able to do something about it, ever, I have to at least try. I have to at least focus on the things that I truly want and to work with the divine creator to make my dream, my wish come true, right? It doesn't matter if people don't believe me. I believe me and I believe in me. And that's the secret. You really do have to believe in the impossible to make the impossible possible. You've got to believe it can be. And I don't care if people think that I've made up the story, that I saw the craft in the sky or the Asura or whatever. I don't care because I know it's true. All this stuff that I've been learning, the way that I've been expanding just in the past 2 years since I found Claudio Nocelli's work. And this isn't going to happen for everybody the same. But I'm saying that just the way it's gone for me, I could have never imagined that it would be this way. That I've gotten closer to that dream that I've had ever since I was 7 for sure, but by 9 absolutely sure when I was watching Sailor Moon. But it doesn't have to do with like being brainwashed by Sailor Moon. Even the first episode of it is Usagi's awakening. It's amazing. Your star seed has to do with your Claustrom's oil. It started for me with star seeds. After I saw the Asura, I found a group called Star Seed Awakening with Misha Johnson. I think she's still going. You know? Everything came together, everything connected. Even when I was talking about it with Jenny when we were little, we called it future connections. It's all connecting together. So, this can be for you too. You have to choose it though. You have to choose it every day. You know? Like going after that destiny. It's not just going to fall into your lap. I mean, even though it kind of does, but in order to make it, like, you have to go together. Because I tell you, even if I tried to run away from this, I couldn't. You know? Like my body does forced fasting. Because this is what I asked for God, for the divine creator. However you identify. You know? And again, this has to do with the frequency in your heart, mind, and spirit. Once you have the right, you get the right results. You know? I didn't realize that sometimes when you pray, there is another someone listening. Because I used to go to church and I would pray for that twin flame demon, even though I didn't know he was at the time, a demon, to contact me on a Sunday. And he'd contact me on a Monday. You know what I mean? That's the devil answering your prayer. Because all that would happen was it would cause more pain, more turmoil, more disruption, everything bad. Seriously. And that is to stop you, to prevent you from reaching your goal, to make you think, but it's deception. The greatest trick the devil ever played is to make you think he doesn't exist, and that's for real. Even if it's not the Bible version, the adversary exists. Evil is real. But, I mean, I've done pretty much everything one can do for as long as possible. That's why I said you have to save yourself. It's not about not caring about others, but this ship is going to sink anyway. It has to. That's what the teaching of Jesus meant when he said, be in this world, but not of it. So, like I said, in order to get out of here, I need to focus on other things. Like, yes, I still have to take care of myself in this reality, make sure that I have enough food to survive and pay my bills and all of that. Yeah. I'm just grateful for everything that it is as it is right now, and that I can be in this state. And I mean, like I said, I've been in all kinds of different like positions in this life. Like, I've had to go without no food, no milk, no this, no that. I've been there and done that. It's not that I want that or like that, but if it comes to me, then I'm prepared for that. You know, the last thing I'm going to tell you is that when I said, because I asked for this, I prayed for this, I wanted this, I wanted to help save the world. And I didn't know how that was going to be. I didn't know who those superheroes were out there that happened to be the solar beings, okay? This has to do with the Claustrom's oil. I didn't know who they were, but I knew they were out there. And I never stopped believing, ever. And I said, I asked for this. And sometimes when you ask for things, you don't exactly know what you're asking for. And so as I wrote in my book, which I'm still writing, by the way, about my life, I compared myself and my creation, just the way I've come to be in this life, to the creation of a sword on the anvil. In when you put it in the fire and then bang, 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 and then in the water. So sometimes when it's really difficult times, that's when the hammer's coming down. You're like, oh my gosh, this is never going to be over. I was just in the fire, now it's even worse. But then the water, eventually, you get that time to cool down, that time of peace, where the noise and the banging has stopped. You see? But then it has to continue because you're not completed yet. But eventually you will be. Do you understand? Good. I hope so. So, yeah. And I mean, that's just like the creational, primordial fire and water. And it is difficult, but it's worth it in the end because it gives you what you ask for, the divine. It's just not always how you pictured and imagined it would be. And I think expectations and stuff like that are a lot of what holds people back, even from just believing a word that I have to say, right? Oh, look at her. You know what I mean? But whatever. Everything like that is a test, like I said before. And if that holds them back from it, then they're unworthy. You see? But they've made themselves that way. Not that I'm deeming them this way. It's a choice. To be chosen, because no one's truly chosen, you have to choose, and then you are chosen. You see what I'm saying? So you choose it, and it chooses you. That's what Yahuwah means. It means you and I. So, yeah. And the aether is alive, so it responds. It responds to your will. Okay? So yeah, believe in the impossible. It only takes one person, right, to be telling the truth for something to be true. Like, hey, I seen a gray alien in my room. And then they're actually telling the truth. Well, shit, it's true. So then what was that? That's how it went for me. And I just never really stopped being that way, So it's not like I don't see. I do. It's just that I can only choose, like, what's that? Divine Creator, please give me the thing that changed the thing. Oh, crap. To recognize the things that I can change, know the things that I can't change, and the, I don't know, knowledge to know the difference or whatever. Yeah, that. I'm really good at that. So, yeah, so I hope you'd enjoy this video. Believe in the impossible. Your heart is your golden compass, like I said. And it's difficult work. You have to put in a lot of work. It's almost like if you want to be a bodybuilder, you can't expect somebody else to build up your muscles, right? You got to do it. Or if you want to climb Mount Everest, you can't. Oh, please don't do that though. If you want to climb another mountain, then you can't expect somebody else to do it for you, right? Yeah. So, like I said, the extraterrestrials are never going to come to you. You got to go to them, and this is how. Almost like climbing a staircase and then reaching out. Okay? All right. So, I am just finishing up my spiritual rank and hierarchy video. And then I will probably have these 2 videos out. Hopefully, please, please, please let this save. I thank you so much for listening and watching. Hope that I've covered everything. I'm pretty sure that I did. Yeah. Okay. Take care, everybody. Bye. Thank you.